Choppers USA, yeah!
Okay, is it going? This is God damn it. This is Car Bros Podcast, episode 94. Damn it.
The big 9-4.
Good enough. Big 9-4. Welcome back. Check out our Patreon. Google it.
Happy Labor Day.
So the other day, I put this on here, and then I took it off, and then I put it back on. It's like it's just this. I tried to like turn it
it's
into
a real
something
controversial.
Yeah, breaking news.
Well, it's just I was trying to like make it funny, and it's not. So I don't really, I'm just gonna say it. The other day, I was getting on the freeway, and it was like 2 lanes make a left onto the on ramp. And then it just like immediately becomes 1 lane. So you're like,
becomes a drag race down to
you're kind of like, but it's like around a turn and the pavement's like, there's a bunch of like undulations. So it's just this like very awkward. Like,
it's a perfect test of a vehicle's capability.
Yeah. And the driver mostly. It's mostly a test of who's got the balls.
It's not the machine, it's the pilot. Yeah. Or whatever the line is.
And it's also like, it's kind of funny how like certain on-ramps, like I think we've said it before, but basically the highway on-ramp and off-ramp is about the only chance you have in like real life.
It's like a part of a racetrack in real life. Yeah, it's like a banked turn. And it's there's like a posted speed. And there's like trying to beat. Yeah.
There's like kind of an argument that like you need to accelerate fast. So it's like kind of a gray area because you're trying to like legitimately, if you don't punch it getting on the freeway, that's like bad. It's like the safer thing to do.
Yeah, I doubt anyone's ever gotten like a ticket for like getting on the freeway too fast or something.
Like too fast. and you're like kind of free to go up to like 10 to 15 above. They're like, whoops, that was just.
Yeah, and you can like clearly see like what's behind you, like and what's in front of you. No one's really going to sneak up on you. In that situation.
It's about as good as it gets. And this is like a particularly good on ramp. This is like quarter mile, like a very slight, like bend. Okay, so I didn't.
It's even better when they have like the little like meter sometimes.
It's like 2 lanes. It goes yellow first and then green.
Got to get staged.
It doesn't start until you're both like on the line.
It has like a little like readout that like puts up your reaction time.
To
cut a good light.
Okay, so none of that is relevant here because I think it's very slow. But anyways, I'm in the right lane. And there's a hearse in the left lane.
Like a Cadillac one?
Yeah, like one of those like long black gas Cadillac, but like full on, like hearse.
The hearse like hasn't really like evolved much, like unlike other.
No.
Like limousine, like there's not really honestly, limousines anymore.
I don't think they're a thing anymore. I think like now they're just
one,
like,
bro.
No, I know, but like I don't think they're making new ones anymore. Now it's like they just get a transit van or something like that,
All the hearses that are in existence have already been made.
Legacy models.
Yeah. Do they sell old ones like police auctions? How they'll get rid of cars?
I know definitely people like there'd always be this kind of weird, like creepy, like hot rodder guy that would like have one with a lot of like skull motifs and stuff.
Well, that's true.
Remember that, like, wasn't there like a reality, like a quote unquote reality TV show that was like Cannonball Run, and they had like teams and like different vehicles, and one of them always had a hearse.
Probably
it's kind of like, hot rodded. Yeah,
like the bad boy would have.
Right. Yeah.
It's a hearse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, there's a hearse next to me, and he was going like pretty slow. But not like
as he should. Like I would assume.
Well, I don't know. You don't know too because they don't have like sirens.
It's like when
it's not like an ambulance.
They don't have like a body on board sticker in the back.
Yeah, because like even an amp. So, anyways, like I was just the long story short, and this is way longer than I thought this would go, but I ended up not passing him because I felt like of all the vehicles to pass. Yeah, because even an ambulance, it's like, yeah, fuck you. Like the lights aren't on. You're like, even if there's a guy in it, and you're like, he probably did it to himself. Like there's just like a bit less sympathy, but like a hearse, it's like damn, I don't know.
Although
it
could have been like a gangbanger that went.
Yeah, I just definitely like paused and like didn't feel right to like blow past him
in a can.
Leave him in your dust. Yeah,
yeah, just like out of the way, asshole.
Maybe if you were in the van, it would have been different.
Yeah,
it would have been more like a salute.
Yeah, it's more like the jets flying over
like
the
a flyover. Yeah.
Listen, man.
One last run. I'm sure he would have appreciated
that actually reminds me. The other night, John and I went to meet up with a friend of ours who's also named John, who's moving up to Seattle, or he just moved.
What's up, John?
And we were like joking that we're like drive our cars in a missing man formation. So it's really like dumb, like cruising.
Like a V. Across the lane, going like 30 on a 55.
No, he's moving.
You don't get it. He's leaving.
We're gonna miss him.
Yeah, it was sentimental. It's like 5 p.m. on a Friday. Yeah. Damn, hearses. Just kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's good. There's just a lot more mileage there.
Solid.
Than I thought. I hope you enjoyed
hearse passing a hearse on an on-ramp. That it all came from that.
Yeah, that was the note. And I didn't even do it. This is like a fleeting thought. If you're curious how stretched thin these podcasts
One
are.
man struggle.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of even less to go off of.
Damn.
So I started school like 2 weeks ago, and it's very demanding, and I have to drive. Yeah, I started law school, and I'm very like busy, and so it threw off my sleep and my eating. So I've been just like getting breakfast at Starbucks, not anymore, but the first week I was like, I'm just gonna like buy food before I go. And so I'm downtown. I'm in a downtown setting, but it's very quiet. It's like 7:30 in the morning. And the thing about the town I'm in is it's like dead until like 9. It's like crazy how dead it is in this area. But Starbucks is open. So I'm crossing the street. It's a 4-way stop. And someone comes up and like...
You're crossing the street on foot, you mean?
Yeah, I'm on foot, downtown setting.
Yeah, okay.
I'm a busy professional.
You've got your handbag and your fedora.
Yeah. And someone, like, they didn't blow the stop sign, but, like, they come in hot. And it's hot enough where it's like, they're not going to fucking stop for the, it's like, it's like you can just tell by the rate that they're stopping that, like, they're not going to stop. And so... Normally, I think that like rude, bad driving in a like pedestrian setting is like unacceptable, kind of. But there's this fine line where it's kind of sweet. And so this guy, I think the line is like, so he slows down to maybe like, I don't know. It's even hard to gauge speed because his car is doing like a 45-degree angle from the like braking force,
braking hard. Yeah.
He's like braking hard, and then immediately transitions into like 45 degrees of like the acceleration angle. Yeah. And I've been trying to like practice this, and I still can't do it. But his tires didn't squeal; they just did the kind of like the like shuffling sound, where it's just kind of it's kind of like, it's like they're like struggling for traction, but he's not like peeling out.
You mean you're talking about like, after he took off again? You mean?
Yeah, he like takes off, and they're kind of like,
on the threshold.
Yeah, they're like on the threshold.
What kind of car was it?
It was a Suburban.
Okay.
Just this like huge, just kind of like kind of like a minivan.
Mass. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know why, like normally, honestly, I would have been like asshole, but something about this situation, I was just kind of like, that was pretty sweet. Just being in like, I don't know why, just being in a huge hurry is like,
he's a very important businessman trying to get to a meeting.
Yeah, it just looked like very important. In the morning.
Yeah.
But it just like clearly wasn't in anything nice. So it wasn't like important business. I don't know. I don't know what it was. But I thought it was sweet. I think it was that amount of tire spin is like,
I like that was like
it.
the icing on top or the cherry on top.
Well balanced.
Yeah.
I think my takeaway is I like when people accelerate hard enough to like the tires actually like audibly complain.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not a peel out. They're not trying to like show off.
They're just trying to get somewhere.
Yeah, they're just trying to get somewhere very fast.
I have two things to say about that. So my commute to work, I have to drive down. It's like it's a major street, but there's 3 stop signs back to back to back, and they're about 100 yards away from each other. And probably at least once every 3 days, I'm behind someone that just completely blows through like all 3 stop signs. Like the speed limit on the roads,
brake lights.
Well, no. So the speed limit on the road is about 40. But they're driving like 50, and then they slow down to maybe about 30 just to like do a quick visual check to see if someone else is waiting. It's like someone's waiting to cross it. Yeah, and then they just like completely go through the stop sign. I'm like, God damn, like how much Hollywood are you just a complete asshole, or are you like in that much of a hurry to not even like attempt to like?
If you have perfect visibility. There's just nothing more frustrating than coming to a complete stop after you've already been cruising.
But the best is there's like a school bus like pickup zone at one of the stop signs, and they still just blast through. But,
yeah, I'm not condoning it, but stop signs do suck.
Like, they do suck.
Like, nope, complete stop.
But I prefer them over like there's been. Like over the years, as the city has developed, like, you know, we've been here for a long time, but we remember like, oh, this used to be a stop sign. Now it's a full on stop light. Like that's, I think, really annoying when they turn it into a stop light. But
yeah, the best ones are roundabouts. I wish they did more of that because you can
they do seem to be doing really more of those like around here, like in kind of like newer areas that like. They seem to be using those a little bit more, I've noticed.
Yeah, like your old house, Garrett's like old house had like a bunch of roundabouts, didn't it?
Yeah, and they, you know the Johnny Quick that we went to for the.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they made one there.
They took that whole like it was like a regular intersection with lights, and they like turned the whole thing into a roundabout. Yeah, it's gonna be.
Yeah, they're supposedly way better for traffic control. Like they legitimately.
Because like you very rarely like. Come to a complete stop.
Yeah, need to come. There's someone trying to wait there. But the other thing I was going to say is now that I got rid of the Jeep, I take the STI to work occasionally, like, you know, twice a week, something like that. And it still has like race brake pads, you know, that are meant to be like operating temperatures, like, I don't know what, but like 300 degrees. And so when
they're super loud.
If they're not up to temperature, they squeak as if like, you know, they need to be replaced, and they squeak pretty loud even at slow temperatures. So I'll come up to these stop signs going like 40 miles an hour and then like wait to the very last second to just like hit the brakes hard. And then I actually like, you know, I do come to a full stop, but like if someone's like, you know, in the trying to cross traffic, like they have to see me and be like, what the fuck is this asshole
family
doing?
of like 7 kids?
Yeah, exactly. Coming in hot.
Yeah, school bus.
Yeah.
The vet's brakes are pretty noisy too, which sucks because I'm always trying to like look hard in that thing. And there's nothing like weaker looking than squeaky brakes.
Yeah, either squeaky brake. No, I think squeaky belts are probably a weaker look than brakes. But
but that's like you should fix it. Like squeaky brakes, it's like, no, come on, it's like a race thing. Like,
that's true.
It's supposed to sound like this.
Yeah, they're just not up to temperature. Come on.
Yeah, that'd be funny if like performance belts squeaked or something, something like that. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Those are thick topics. Here's one more for you. So. At school, there's like big parking lots. Most people drive in. You can live on campus, but it's kind of weird. And I was just kind of thinking about like in high school, if someone nobody in high school had 2 cars, you know, like, 'cause it was like a miracle if you have a car in high school. So like no one had two. And so if you're into cars, it's very obvious. Because it's like I'm gonna
there's
his car.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's his
There's his
project.
FRS. Yeah.
Yeah, like whatever it is. And like, you know, even if it's like gutted or whatever, it's like they're driving it. Like,
there it is.
Like, there it is. Yeah, so it's this kind of like mini car show for the like 5 people that are like into cars or something. You know, it'd be like, oh, I remember like this guy had a like Camaro in high school or something. But that doesn't really happen after high school or maybe college, because nobody's driving their like fun car. Yeah, like no one's like showing up to school in their like cool car. So the parking lot just sucks. It's just a bunch of like
Camrys.
Camrys. Yeah, it's just full of Camrys. And I was thinking about that too, just on the commute to and from school. It's like everything around you, if you're commuting on like a busy kind of highway or something, unless you're just balling and you're like in an M3 or something, and like that is just your commuter. Yeah. Everything around you is just the shittiest possible car that people could like keep on the road. Yeah. You know? Like Bay Area, like stuff where commuting sucks. It's like no one wants to drive anything cool because it's just stop and go. And so everything's just this like shitty, like bumpers falling off, you know, just like 20-year-old Accords and stuff. Yeah, none of it's like cool. Yeah, it's just kind of weird. And I'm doing it too. I'm in a Camry. I'm in a beige Camry
with a bunch of scuff marks and stuff like that.
Yeah, a bunch of like scrapes on it and stuff.
It's probably like cooler if it was like if you actually like worked at like a factory or something, and there's like an employee lot. Like if it's more of like a blue collar type thing. It's probably
I imagine so. I was just thinking like it'd be neat if like Fridays was just like understood or something
instead of like casual Friday. It's like bring your car. Cool
like
car to work day.
If it just started to become a trend where it's like drive your like cool car on Fridays or something. Damn. Maybe it will in the future.
Sponsored by Haggerty or something.
Drive your gas car to work or something.
I haven't seen it in a while, but you should get one of those license plate frames that says like my other car is a Corvette or something, so you can let people know.
Yeah, put it on the vet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got 2.
Yeah. Okay, I've got a hot take.
This is very hot. This is like fresh. Dude, this is scalding.
Scalding hot. And it could be outdated in like a day. So first of all, the Type R like power level was released, I guess.
Yeah,
and it's like 9 more than the old one. It's like they changed the wastegate or something. It's like nothing to write home about, which is fine. I don't think the old one needed more power.
Yeah.
But there have also been some videos posted. There's an embargo on your impressions of the GR Corolla.
Oh yeah. Like as we record this, like a few days ago, they had the like media test drive event. I think it was for the GR Corolla and the manual Supra, like at the same time. So okay. I think I don't know if they're both under the same rules but they both they did it all at the same time. So.
Yeah, so you can't give your impressions of it, but there are some videos posted of just like people silently driving them.
Yeah, it's like you can post content from it, and you can like give like I guess whatever facts were already out there, but you can't say like it's fast or it's
steering feel.
Yeah.
People are just waiting to hear about the steering feel. Okay, so I watched. There's 2 guys on YouTube. I don't watch a ton of YouTube stuff anymore, other than like Goose. But there's 2 guys. I think one is called Tedward and one is like Topher or something. Yeah. And their whole thing is basically just a GoPro on their head.
It's like POV.
Yeah, it's literally just POV with like a decent mic. And one of them posted that, so it's just like, here's me driving it. And I gotta say, I feel like this car has been very hyped.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to say until it's hard to say.
It's very hard to say, and that's what I mean. This could become outdated in like a day or whatever when they're like, "Oh, it's amazing! Like it's so fun. It's hard to hold back." But I'm just looking at the facts here, and I think it's going to be like, I don't see how it could be more fun, basically, than like whatever the STI was like 10 years ago. Because on paper, it's basically the same stats, right?
Yeah, it's just a newer version of that. I mean, I guess some things are better. I mean, it's probably a little bit
I mean,
lighter,
it's certainly
maybe, I
like
don't know.
newer and maybe like, I don't know.
And it exists, unlike the STI.
And it exists. Yeah, I just feel like I think that the Type R is going to be the more exciting vehicle after watching a silent drive. Again, it's based on nothing.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know. I was just kind of like lukewarm after watching. I was like, oh, like cool.
there it is.
Like there it is. Yeah. I don't know. I guess that's not as hot of a take as I thought. Well, the hot take is just like when people get excited for something, and I did it too, like watching people be excited. I'm like, this thing is going to be like, this is like the best car ever made. Yeah, this thing is like insane. And now it's like, well, okay. 300 horsepower.
It really is. It's just the modern like STI versus Evo comparison now. And now it's Type R versus Corolla GR.
Yeah.
I think the thing that's getting me is that it's a 2 liter or something?
1.6, yeah.
1.6. Yeah. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see. But I guess my hot take is like, I may have been like kind of cooled on it. Just based on the silent driving video.
Going with low expectations.
I'm going in with low expectations, yeah. But who knows? Like, definitely gonna like I'll wait till Goose drives it.
Yeah,
he'll know what's up.
It is pretty annoying that they supposedly don't have the spoiler, the rear spoiler on the car anymore, or they just
like they're like still working on it or something.
Yeah, like all the models didn't have it, so it looks kind of weak without it, or not.
They're working on this thing until it hits the dealer floor.
The biggest thing that I don't like is like it. Like I have a deposit on one, and I don't even know like what it's going to be. It's like, well, I don't know why they're like purposely limiting like the good version. Like I don't know why you would really
the super good version.
I mean, no. I mean, well, that's like some like kind of
the medium good version.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like it's just like here's the one that everyone wants, but like, well, most of them are not going to be this. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah, they could probably get rid of the base model and be fine.
Especially, like, I mean, initially for sure.
Yeah, the first like year.
Yeah,
just put them all out there. Yeah, I agree.
I'm sure the base one will be fine, but it's just I don't know why would you make it more complicated than it needs to be.
I agree. I think the launch of this thing is like I'm not sure if they're doing it on purpose, but they're doing a good job of making like maximum hype. But I think the actual like launch of it is kind of tone deaf. Like they're what they should be going for is maximum hype is fine, but you should also be going for, given the circumstances and your constraints, maximum customer satisfaction.
Right.
And like every one of these that they ship without the LSDs is going to be like a sad customer, basically.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I don't know why. I mean, I say in a different world where there's they can build as many as they possibly want, then maybe make as many tiers as you can. But right now, like, why are you going to like limit? I don't know.
Is it
agree?
Go ahead.
Is it an electronic LSD, or is it like
No, they're Torsons front.
No, it's fucking like mechanics.
Well, I don't know. I'm just asking. I didn't know if it was mechanical or electronic, because I'm just saying, like with the 4xe that I ordered, like only certain models come with an electronic, differential.
Right,
and I guess because of the whole silicon shortage, like those have been delayed longer than the ones the models that don't have it, because they're waiting for parts to build it. So I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like they literally can't build them. No, this just feels like there's like some extra gears that they put in it that they're like choosing not to.
Yeah, it feels like they almost like it's like they kind of saw what was going on with the like whatever collector car market. It was like, oh, what if we like get on and like we can get on this like exclusivity.
Yeah.
What if we did that?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of wild how much the exclusive part drives value.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't think it would matter that much, but apparently it does.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still excited for the car. I wish they would. I don't know. I feel like they should just be a lot more streamlined with how they're bringing it out. I would say.
I agree because this is not pleasing anybody.
Yeah.
Like even the reservation holders.
Well, the funny thing is, like, I'm on like I look at like the forums and the groups and stuff where people speculate about it and talk about it, and all these people are like, well, I'm like circuit edition only, like. It's not, the car's not really that different. It's like a different hood and like seats or something. Like there's nothing real there's nothing like substantially different. But they've done enough to like make it seem like the cooler one that people are like, I'm out. Like I don't even care about the base one,
right?
And they said like, oh, like only like I don't know, whatever 1,200 of them or something are going to be, the one that everyone wants. It's like, how does that work? Why would you?
Yeah. Yeah, I just can't help it. I've just kind of stopped thinking about it because it frustrates me. But I think so. Like you just can't separate the fact that so much of people's behavior these days, which just was not the case as much in the past, is based on what is this thing going to resell for?
Yeah, or well,
there's it's an investment.
Yeah, I mean, part of it makes sense. I mean, the worst thing that you, I mean, nobody wants to buy a car that's really expensive and the thing just like tanks in value like the minute you buy it. But I don't think people used to think about like, well, I can like make money on this later.
Yeah, I think I agree. Like, but remember how it used to just be a rule? It's like, don't buy a new car as soon as you drive it off the lot. 10 grand. It's just like not like that is not even remotely in the zeitgeist anymore.
It's like, well, I mean, part of the reason when I bought my Type R a few years ago, like it was like at the time it was like the most expensive car that I'd ever bought, and I was like, well, at least like these things should like I'm not really going to like lose anything if I decide to get rid of this. And that was like the idea. I didn't know that they'd be selling for like 50 grand used a couple years later, which is insane. But yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of Honda and one of those guys on YouTube, I can't remember, but I was watching NSX drive, a new NSX. I think it's like the Type S, which is kind of weird. They like right at the end made like 300 like slightly better ones or something. And I was like, damn, like I've always really liked the way those things look. And just the car in general, I thought they did a pretty good job with it. And so he's driving and I'm like, damn, these things are like still sweet. Like this would be a cool car to have in like a few years or something when, maybe they come down. They're never going to be cheap, obviously. Isn't it crazy that the NSX was like 20 grand at one point?
God.
The original one. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so funny. Damn. Oh God. I mean, it's an argument to say that they probably should still be that much.
How many? I think I've literally seen like 2 of the new NSX like driving like ever.
God, I don't even know if I've seen one. Maybe I have.
Yeah, I think I've seen one in person.
Yeah.
That's like it's like a very rare car, just like in general.
Yeah, they probably didn't make too many of them because it just wasn't that popular. Like it just Okay, so anyways, I'm watching this thing and I'm like, damn, this thing's sweet. And he loves it too. He's like, these things are so good. And like, it's awesome. It's an awesome car. And then I watched, and in my mind, it was like, like someday, like this would be a cool, like garage art / whatever. And then I watched like a base model C8 video by the same guy.
Just wait.
I was like, man, I was like, fuck the NS. Like this thing's like a quarter of the price or something, like a third of the price.
Yeah.
Sounds way better. And it's like
looks about the same.
Yeah, like looks the same, like similar driving experience. V8 versus some like turbo V6 or whatever again. Like I can't believe they put a V6 in that thing. But I've just had more and more like thoughts about I think cars just starting in like the mid 2000s they just like people forget they just went in like a different direction where like the late 90s basically that was the peak of like anyone can go out short of maybe a Viper, anyone can go out and buy a car and it's just going to be like awesome. You can mostly get close to its limits and like it's fast as hell, but like it's not like crazy short of like very exotic cars and again maybe the Viper. Like there was nothing you could buy where it'd be like, well, careful, like
just don't kill yourself.
Like be careful there. That thing's like a fucking weapon. And then starting in, the early to mid 2000s, the cars just it became like someone else is doing the driving for you. It's like this car is so sweet because look at the like Nürburgring time, whereas it's just like you're arguing based on someone else's performance in the car, basically. Like it was kind of like watching sports. It's like I'm not playing.
That's my team.
Like that's my team.
And
like I'm wearing the jersey, so like fuck you, like my team's better kind of thing. And just more and more I've been like thinking about like people will literally buy cars based on its like 10/10ths like track performance. Like, oh, I don't really like the like RS3 because those things understeer like
at the limit.
Like 100-mile-an-hour sweepers. It's just like all understeer.
It's the worst.
Something. It's just like what the fuck you time it like 99% of drivers, 99.9% of drivers will probably never even get this thing to turn hard enough to make a tire squeal. Yeah, and so it's kind of like this weird thing. And it's the same with that. It was like C8 versus NSX. Like, look, I'm just looking to like drive a car that's like cool and fun at like 5/10ths.
Yeah.
And like, I think both of those cars, people were like, oh yeah, it's very like digital experience at the limit. Like the NSX, like, that thing just like understeers. Or it's like, dude, you're gonna track this thing like once, maybe. Like maybe you're gonna like take it to a track just to like say you did. But the majority of the time, you're just going to be like going around town, punching at a stoplight, the same driving experience as like a Fox body. You just want to like buy a thing and like rail on it on the way. Just like first, second, third, like, okay. Then like, and then you're going to go buy the milk or whatever you like left to go do. Like, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. But.
No, that sort of ties into like what this other thing that I put on here is like, the way cars have evolved, like I'm increasingly feeling like the idea of like a luxury car, like almost means nothing these days. I would say
the line is very blurred.
It's
like,
it's mostly just like
definitely.
It's like build quality and materials is what it is now. It's like this is the best leather seats ever compared to like. It's just leather seats in a Civic,
Yeah. I guess it became this like very like niche thing where like I bet most people that are even like looking at them don't even know like why they're buying it.
Yeah,
like
it's just a status symbol.
Yeah, I mean they've always been status symbols, but I feel like there was more to go along with that. Like if you look at like whatever like a '90s, like whatever Benz compared to like a '90s Chevy or Honda, there's like
Sentra.
There's like a clear like, oh, this is like you can feel like the moment you step in this thing, you can feel like what?
Shut the door on it.
Yeah, like you shut the door, like you feel like the smoothness of the engine, or whatever it is, like how good it rides.
Yeah, I think it's not that I think the ceiling of like how nice luxury can reasonably be for a reasonable price hasn't gone up that much.
Yeah.
But the floor on how nice we can make a shitty car went way up. Like,
right.
Your modern, like, kind of econo box is so much nicer than it used to be.
Yeah, and there's things, it's like in 2001, whatever, like an S class, like there was no like adaptive cruise, like it didn't even exist. And now like a Kia has it. Like it's it's like something like that, like would be almost like a luxury feature. Like if it was, it's like, oh, like if you want that, like you need to buy a luxury car. Like it'll pamper you. But like now, like everything has that.
Yeah, this thing has power windows on all four.
Right.
Yeah.
I think tech was always kind of part of it, but not really.
Yeah, it was like
It was definitely like this thing's gonna be fully loaded, but there'd always be like one kind of gimmick with a luxury car, and they just kind of there aren't just like new ones where it's like, well, if you want the like maybe self-driving kind of stuff, but again, you can get that on like a Bolt.
Or at least like a good recreation of it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's basically just you're paying for the brand, and everything is at the kind of bleeding edge of how nice you can make stuff. So if you want to make it way nicer, you're basically like sourcing old growth redwood to make the dashboard. And so, like the materials have gone like,
it's just the materials
crazy
skyrocketed. And then like minor comfort things. Like I said, like I ordered a Trailhawk 4xe, but they make a Summit, which is like the top of the line trim. So that's like their quote unquote luxury thing. And like the difference is it's like the seats are 12-way adjustable with lumbar support and massaging. Whereas like the one I got, it's like, oh, it's only 9-way adjustable and there's no massaging or something. It's like, okay, I can live with that. But.
Yeah, and the leather is like 10% softer.
Yeah, it's like and super stitched and like cross stitching and like all looks more elegant. But
again,
and
it's not, and
if
it's
you
not
get
like
a fully loaded Civic now,
which is what we got, like which is what Christina, like my wife, got.
Does that have leather in it?
Yeah, it's a leather seat. It's like a perforated leather seat, but it's not like I could tell it's the leather quality is less than the leather seats that were in the SRT, which is like super soft.
If you get like a fully loaded Civic, you're basically in like bottom to mid range BMW now. Like it's just not really different. Like, get in a German car. They're all the same.
And like engines have changed. I mean, a lot of stuff is electric now, anyways. But it's like, it's like this was like the feeling of like an inline 6, like versus like like 8-valve, like 4-banger, like piece of shit.
Distributor, little carbureted piece.
Now
it's
just
shit.
like everything is like a 2-liter turbo or like a 3-liter turbo, whatever.
Yeah,
it's like, well, once you drive that Mercedes turbo V6, you'll know why.
Yeah, I would agree, but I don't think it's tech that did it. I think it's just like it was so clear what the goal of cheap cars was. It was like, we know what we're trying to be for as cheap as possible. And it's just not clear now what makes luxury. Luxury's always been kind of a nebulous definition.
Right. Yeah,
but it's even less clear now, before. Where, like, I've heard there are certain models of cars where they'll make it so quiet inside that during testing, you get nauseous. Because if a space is too quiet, it fucks with your like inner ear or something, your like balance or something.
Yeah, you can like.
And so it's like they can't like max it out, like. Okay, we're going to put you in this box where you cannot feel the road and you can't hear anything. Like that's not luxury. That's a sensory deprivation chamber.
And I mean, it's not
clear where to go.
I would also say like in the US, at least, I would say like the coming of Tesla has also like had a big impact on, like, because even though like Teslas are not really that nice, like they're not really like luxury cars, but like they've eaten up a huge part of like the market that would use to buy a luxury car. And I think it's like because they're so like different, I guess. It's like they like the people that wanted something that like stood out from the typical car, like just went to that. While like Mercedes just tried to like make their stuff nicer. It could just be like the
age of the audience or kind of a cultural thing. Like luxury used to mean like comfort, and now it kind of means exclusive.
Yeah.
It used to be like a feeling, and now it is more about how other people perceive you. Like I think a lot of people would view Apple as a luxury brand.
Yeah.
Because it makes you
like,
look a certain way.
Yeah. It's like certain design or whatever.
Yeah. So that's like so much more of an element to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
They still exist, like the kind of traditional luxury cars, but no one's
not,
like pining
like,
after a S-Class anymore.
Yeah. Just I don't know. I was thinking about that. But, damn. Mm-hmm.
I should have brought this in sooner, but speaking of like the kind of like investment mentality mindset, I was on Bring a Trailer the other day, the source of most of my topics for this podcast, and there was a 6 mile 03 Cobra convertible on there.
Jeez.
Yeah. Which is basically just like...
Isn't that just like rolling it around the factory or something? Or like
probably
I'm
like
guessing
final sign off they do on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing that has never had that was like delivery mileage.
Yeah,
I don't think
it was like put onto a truck like from the showroom.
Yeah, and so that means it's been moved with like a forklift, basically. And so this thing is like, it's still got the like protective film on the headlights kind of thing, like plastic on the seats, not even as it was sold. This is as it was delivered to the dealership, And so, of course, the comments section is just this fucking shit show of like opinions. It is not remotely about the Cobras. It's about your philosophy of life, pretty much. But it did get me thinking. It's like I don't know. I guess I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on it because I've kind of fell into this is lame camp. Like I get
cars that are not driven at all. You mean
at that level? Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I even think like 1,000-mile one would be kind of lame. But like 6 is basically like, whoa, you got one of those Cobras? Like, don't fucking touch it. Do not get in it. You can't,
put a velvet rope around it. Like, you can't get.
Yeah, it's like
you can look at it from afar.
Yeah, don't even fucking touch it. And so the cars that are like 20 years old with like 2,000 miles, to me, that's like pretty lame because it's like, oh fuck, I'm taking it out. It's like that's less than. That is less miles. Like basically, I would say I drive the M5. I've had years where I've driven the M5. The minimum you can like drive a car, and that's like 500 miles. Yeah, that's like the minimum. That's just like once every week or two, I took it out for like 10 miles to get it warmed up.
Yeah,
and that's like 500 miles. And so for a car to have less than that. That is like you are making
that's a lot of sitting.
Yeah, you're making big sacrifices based on mileage and value. Like that transitions it from the absolute minimum ownership of a car into this is just like a lump of like thing that like I'm
piece of art.
Yeah, but 6 miles. It's not even. It has no car. It's not a car.
What did it sell for?
What did it? I think it's still live.
Oh, it hasn't even ended yet.
Yeah, I think so. I'm sure it will. I have my doubts it'll even cross MSRP. It's like those cars aren't. Cars aren't like that, aren't really old enough to be like.
It just makes me wonder, like, why is he selling it now?
There it is.
Like, what?
$60,000. Damn.
What are the circumstances?
Oh, damn! I'm not past it. I think those were like 40 when they were new.
Damn.
Like, does he just need the money, or is he just because he's already like it's too late for the whole, the bump in the used car market that happened, like, starting a year and a half ago.
Yeah, he's probably even past the peak of that.
That's what I mean. Like the used cars have already started to go down. Like that's where I got rid of the Jeep, is because I could see it losing value while it was sitting in the shop and I couldn't get to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Wow, these things are starting to like go up.
I would say that that's almost like too, like that's just like a really weird example of a car because like you're not like you're not going to drive that.
No, yeah, the new
you're
buyer
not even
isn't going to drive
dude,
it.
you're not even going to sit in it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like what? But I mean, so it's not like, well, I've always liked the '03 Cobra, so like I wanted to buy one so I could like, even if you want to like take it out once, every 2 weeks or something, like you can't even do that.
Exactly. Are we in agreement that this thing sucks?
Yes.
I mean, it's sort of neat in that it's like preserved, but again, like I don't know what you would even do with it.
I know. Well, that's why I was like, is it okay? Let's fast forward.
Let me just say that I looked. I don't know if does this sound right? It says $41,000 in 2003 is equivalent to $66,000 today.
That sounds about right.
That's probably right. Yeah.
So it's like almost at its inflation adjusted MSRP.
Mm-hmm. Yes, correct. He and whatever else you factor in, cost of storage, there's no way he's making money on this.
No,
so it is not an investment.
No.
So then you have to say like, I'm a like curator.
I'm a connoisseur.
Well, I don't even know. Okay, so let's assume that 50 years from now, this thing still has 6 miles.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow every other example of this like fairly common car has been destroyed somehow. Like even then, is it worth it to just preserve artifacts?
I mean,
I don't think so. I
mean,
even like race cars, like old Formula One race cars, like they take them out and like drive them around a track occasionally, like at events. Like it's like, who cares how many miles it has on it? Like condition, sure, like keep it nice, but like it doesn't. The odometer never really mattered to me, like when it comes to preserving a car.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this thing is like, I don't know. I came away feeling like this kind of pathetic. Mm-hmm. Like this is basically like not cool. And now whoever buys it can't drive it. I mean, that's weird. It's weird. Pretty sweet to drive it.
Yeah, it's like a car like that. Like I can understand like the original buyer's perspective more than I can like anyone who would buy it now.
Yeah, well, unless
like my image of like whoever bought that and did that, just some weird like autistic like car collector.
Yeah, like rich.
Just like
whatever.
Sorry, just like I bought this just to because I just want to keep the covers on the seats.
Yeah, well, but again, like this car with like first of all, this car is pretty much ruined. It's sat without moving for 20 years.
Yeah.
Every like seal in this motor, unless they like started it, I mean, this is not a candidate to drive.
No.
So what?
Like been drained of all fluids.
Yeah, you're just like preserving the like shape of the car. Like it's just not. They're treating it probably like not even a video of it running.
Was there one?
Maybe they start it. I don't know. He like puts on like a Tyvek hazmat suit and gets in it or something. I mean, it's just like, I guess my thinking is if this car had 5,000 miles on it, it's like cultural significance and like preservation status is not diminished. Mm-hmm. No one's going to be like, fuck, but I wonder what it would look like without like these 6 creases in the seat. I wonder if it's still had the
plastic covers on the seat.
Yeah, like we've really lost something here. Mm. Like this just feels like, I don't know. This just feels dumb to me. Mm-hmm. And of course, again, like all the comments are like, well, maybe people are free to someone can do whatever they want with their money. It's like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like based on the pictures, it looks like it's in like a collection. I don't know if it's a dealer or like someone's collection, but there's like a bunch of like similar, like preserved cars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know. It's fine, but I'm just imagining like if you had this, if you like went to someone's house, their like big garage, And they're like, check this thing out, like 6 miles. You'd be like, the fuck?
And you're like, oh, sweet, can I sit in it? No.
Honestly,
Yeah,
like,
I wouldn't. I wouldn't be like, oh, it's so cool.
It's weird. It's weird that like it still has like the tape and shit on the headlights. Like, imagine like the residue that would.
I know.
On there now.
That's what I mean. Yeah. It's like this has almost been preserved out of like mental illness.
Yeah, well, honestly, what it
touch
anything. Like it feels almost like no one ever bought it. Like they like discovered it. Like, oh shit! Like we forgot to like like someone like took that off the truck and then we forgot that we had it.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck, what do we do?
This was in
the
basement. Like his son moved it into the basement and then like died.
We forgot it was there.
Yeah, it's like, and then we found it. It's just like, this is not like you. Well, that's again. It's like you've ruined it by not driving it. You like this for, and it's not like every other one. This, first of all, it's not one of one. This 03 Cobra. They made several thousand of these things. And so I don't know. Yeah, and selling it like 20 years. Time for the next.
I've had my time with it.
Imagine buying that and just fucking like modding it, just like just like acting like you're just like some like redneck guy from TIA. Like I took it down to Whipple, like some slicks on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna put some comments in here. Like, is this thing? What's the last like timing belt? Kind of tired. Like, I'm trying to buy this thing. Giving them like a hard time. Kind of maintenance.
Damn.
Yeah.
Can I take it for a test drive first?
Yeah, try it. Yeah, there's like tape on it and stuff. I don't know. It's just. I mean, seriously, if somebody showed me this and it was in their collection, I'd be like, cool. I get like.
Like it's not even like it's not even showroom condition because it was never even like prepped to go in the showroom.
No, it's just I don't even know.
It's in like delivery truck condition.
Yeah, it's like perverse. It's like okay. I mean, I guess there's people that like collect stuff. I don't know.
Also, this car is like too new. Like if this was like, like a 65 Corvette or something that was like somehow in the same shape, like that would be pretty cool. But like this car is not really old enough to be like, oh my god.
See,
like,
I just don't know. I'm not sure if I agree with that. If this was like a 60s muscle car,
I think it would definitely
be like,
it would definitely be cooler because like by this point, like the vast majority of those are, restored. Where this car is not really old enough to like have really, like it wouldn't have deteriorated that much in the real world.
Yeah. Well, that's not his fault. I mean, I'm guessing he's thinking like this is on its way to.
Yeah. Someday it'll be there.
Being that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Damn. I hate it. I hate it and the person who owned it.
I hate the Ford Motor Company for building
that's in the first place. It's made me like these cars less. Okay. I have 2 in finalies. I don't know if I should do both of them. Man, they're both kind of related. I think that watching stuff digitally, one of the main advantages of it is that you can skip forward and backwards so easily. Because, think about like watching something on VHS. It's like, if you wanted to like fast forward, that was like a physical act.
Yeah.
you were like straining the media by like moving it faster. And so I was rewatching Deadwood, fabulous show on HBO. Highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. But one thing about rewatching stuff, I have a pretty shitty memory just for like media in general. Like I'll rewatch things a year later and forget half of it. But some of the stuff I'll rewatch it and I'll be like, I really like this show, except I hate this like side character that had nothing to do with the show really, or like you've already seen it, so you don't need to know. Yeah. You're not going to be like, what? This plot doesn't make sense. Like, and so one thing I've started doing when I rewatch this is I will just cut out a storyline
Skip it.
I'll just they've got, it's a button. It's like forward 15 seconds. Like I am like a podcast. It's crazy to me that podcasts will have ads in it because I can skip, especially shows where it's like every time the podcast starts, there's two ads.
Yeah, there's like 3 minutes of ads. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not even like sprinkled in. It's just like every time it starts, there's two ads. I can skip an ad so effectively that I couldn't even tell you what it's for. I mean, it's like, and this is like, boom, you're like looking for the intro music. Yeah, it's crazy. And so I'm basically treating shows like podcasts with ads where I'm just like, nope, this dude's on screen, skip, and then like back to it. And it's way more enjoyable. You just like you just edit the show yourself and just like cut out their dumb storyline.
Just get the cream of the crop.
Yeah, that'd be sweet if that'd be sweet if there was a way to like make that customizable. Like it gave you an option, like kind of in video games, there's like main story missions and then side missions. And it's like, how do you want your viewing experience to be? Do you just want the main story or do you want to
It's totally
go off
possible.
on weird tangents?
The fact that they have skip intro is now like an accepted button that all the apps have. It's just time markers. You're just skipping to the next time marker. They could just have a checkbox where it's like, which characters do you
not like?
In this, you're just like unchecking storylines and stuff. I'm waiting. I mean, there also seems like we're not far off from like, look, just cut out the credits and the intro and play this fucking show as if all the episodes blend together.
As if they didn't exist.
Like, do not stop the show to play the credits. Like, just keep it going. Yeah.
That reminds me that this episode of the Car Bros podcast is brought to you by Bring a Trailer. You ever wanted to sell your collector car?
Identity fraud is
or
a
any
real
car.
issue.
It doesn't need to be a collector car. You can put a Prius on there. Who cares?
Once a month, they'll send you a cool box.
Collector car. Yeah. Okay. And finally. Speaking, I've since rewatched Deadwood. Now I'm rewatching Sopranos. I'm almost done with it.
Excellent choice.
Yeah, it's a great show. Another great show. Highly recommend it. And it just kind of reminded me of what was essentially like basically one of the like hottest drinks of the like late 90s, which is just like gone now. Just Snapple.
Snapple.
I mean, Snapple's still around, but
it's around, but like,
it's around.
It's kind of the first like alternative to soda, basically, and like coffee. It was like, it's like a drink. It's like
Snapple. Wasn't there like a Snapple lady or something?
Yeah, and they had
there's
like
the Snapple facts. They had the facts.
Yeah. Damn.
It was just kind of funny for a long. I feel like for a long time it was like soda, coffee, orange juice, and like water, and like that's like it. You got your four like options, and then like Snapple just fucking came out of nowhere. It's like it's a new drink.
Well, recently, I think I've mentioned this before, but like now they don't do them in glass bottles anymore. Now they're just plastic bottles, like a standard, like 20 ounce of Pepsi or Mountain Dew. Like it's.
Do they sell Snapple at like the regular store? Like I don't remember seeing it. Like
I'm sure it's
grocery store.
Well, it's just lost in the like haystack of drinks now. There's like kombucha and like energy drinks.
Monster.
And, I mean, it's just the drinks aisle is like crazy now of a store. It's like there are just so many like drinks, so many like caffeine and sugar delivery options now.
In that same flavor, like do you remember the drink Sobe, like the SOBE?
Yeah, it kind of came like after.
It was like
here's another one.
Yeah, here's another one. Like that one's gone too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think what ended it, and apparently there was like a lawsuit about this, is Snapple is kind of like pitched as like
healthy.
It was natural. I think it was healthy because they were like made with the but I think they were kind of like, oh no, like it's a drink. Don't it's not. It's not soda. It's just like now the kind of veil has been lifted. That like, look, it like if you're drinking something, it's either no sugar, like how flavored carbonated water is now a thing. Like they've gone in all directions, or it's just a shitload of sugar. Like it's either going to be like it's either sugar or it's not, or the natural sweetener or whatever. So I feel like Snapple got away with it for a while, where it's like, what's in it? Like, I don't know.
Snapple. It's like juice and
water and fruit.
It's like juice,
fruit.
It's like, oh, wait a minute. So I guess there's this big lawsuit. I don't know if I don't know how it was decided, but someone was basically sued him because it was like, there's just a bunch of sugar in this, and you're marketing it as like a health drink. Yeah. Anyways, Snapple.
Yeah. What's up, Snapple?
Okay. Well,
solid.
Not bad. Yeah. Not the best, not the worst. What do you want, people? Come on.
Yeah. It's the big 9.4. Come on.
Yeah, it's 9.4. Yeah. What do you think this is? 9.3?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you're having a fabulous. Oh, wait. You won't hear this on Labor Day. We are.
We hope you had.
Hope you had a great Labor Day. Not too hot. And we will see you next time.
See you later.
Bye-bye.